What's good, y'all? At this point, you probably already know a few chords. And if you don't know a few chords, make sure you watch the video lesson on how to play your caged chords. You've probably attempted to learn a chord progression where you switch from one chord to another chord. Case in point, if I'm playing the chord progression G major to E minor to C major to D major, that may be a little bit difficult for a few of you because you may not know how to swap your fingers quickly so that you could play these chords in time with the song that you are attempting to play it for. As you notice with these chords, G major and E minor and C major and D major, you have to swap a few of your fingers in order to play the next chord. One, two, or even all three of your fingers in order to play these chords. Well, how can I do it so fluidly? I have trained my hands to recognize where these chord shapes are. When I'm playing a G chord, one thing that I like to do is to relieve the pressure from the strings, then push down in the strings as tight as possible, and then relieve the pressure. And then I like to tap on those strings. All I'm doing is slightly applying pressure, only so that I can allow my hand and my arm and my mind to think about the muscles that are being used. And when I feel like I have that, I decide to lift my fingers slightly off the strings, but continue tapping until I can get to a point where all I'm doing is lifting my hands all the way off the guitar, where I can even open my hand fully and continue doing that, but making it a goal to be precise to land on the strings. Right now, when I did it, my ring finger didn't land on the third fret of the high pitch E string. Now these two fingers didn't land on the E string and the A string. Now my index finger didn't land on the A string, but it gets to a point where I can find that precision. This is the level of precision that you need when you are switching chords, because there will be times where you have to switch chords quickly. So in order to allow your hands to move quickly, that is one way to lock in on one chord. Now, after that, you can focus on the interaction of switching between one chord to the next relatively smoothly by only focusing on those two chords. What is happening? Are there any fingers that you can keep on the strings in order to have some sort of anchor? So when I'm switching from G major to E minor, I'm not lifting all of my fingers up to switch to E minor, because the second fret of A is played on both of those chords. So stuff like that can make your life a little bit easier as you are trying to work on your chord switches and your chord changes. So keep that in mind. If you hyper focus on those two things and take it slow and use precision and continue to use a metronome and to try to build your speed and to do this consistently over and over again, practice that self-discipline and recognize where the patterns lie, then this will become slightly easier for you over time. So don't overstress it, make it happen. I'll catch you in the next video.